Despacito. The thing is, that could be in English, and that's still how I would sing it. Welcome to Rachel Uncensored, one of the few places on the internet that you can find an uncensored version of me. Hello, I am Rachel, and welcome back to another solo episode. We'll probably have Miss Abigail on next week, but for this week, you just get another little old me. Aren't you lucky? Blaze is walking around. Buddy, you want to settle? No? You're just going to go hide behind the couch? Okay. For those who listen next week and might be intrigued but haven't watched my vlog channel, I have figured out what the leak in my office is, and I've talked to my neighbor, and I'm on the verge of fixing it. Hopefully by the time this episode airs, I'll have the majority of it, if not all of it, fixed. But I thought you might want a little update. Okay, but let's start this bad boy, shall we? Let's do the joke of the day, which I haven't looked up yet. Why have I not looked it up? I don't know. Here you go. Why don't eggs tell jokes? They might crack up. Ha ha ha. Yeah, eggs are expensive. That's the real joke here in the States. The price of our eggs. All right, you know what I'm in desperate need of? A badass words of affirmation. So let's pick from the deck and see what we got. This one says, I am fucking powerful. I am. And I believe that. Say that. Look in the mirror and say, I am fucking powerful. I think these wow, I can't say affirmations. I think these badass affirmations are just normal affirmations that they put cuss words into. And I'm not mad about that. Not even a little bit. I love a good cuss word. It's actually, I'm quite impressed by me that I am able to just turn on and off my cussing because I feel like I'm a normal adult. I cuss a lot. It's part of my just vocab. But because of my years on the internet and just being around my family, I learned to just completely turn it on and off. And that's impressive, if I do say so myself. I don't know if people know this. I didn't cuss until I think it was my junior or senior year of college. I just did not curse. I was a huge goody two-shoes, and I do not know why. I didn't drink, I didn't do drugs, I wasn't having sex, and I didn't cuss in high school. At most of college, I didn't start drinking till I was 21. I didn't dabble in the marijuana until like my mid-20s. How was I so straight edge? Because like my personality never gave that off. I never gave off like this innocent little thing. I was around it. I knew about it. I just didn't ever partake. And I don't know how I didn't cuss. I think I was 20 or 21 until I started cussing. That's crazy. What was going on? I think that's might be why I cuss so much now, as I'm trying to let it all out. I pent it all up. But man, I was like a parent's dream. And they still didn't trust me because I was a teenager. Yeah, well, whatever. It's just a random tidbit about me. You never know what I'm going to say. All right. I have something that I have learned this week, ladies and gentlemen. PepsiCo, they are the ones that created like Doritos and Cheetos and stuff like that. They are releasing a Simply Naked, but spelled NKD, Simply NKD, naked version here in the States that skips artificial colors and flavors, leaving the chips without their usual bright hues while still keeping the familiar taste through natural ingredients. So more and more we find out that kids aren't having like these sugar high hyperactive things because of sugar. It's because of the dyes. And we found out more and more that a lot of the dyes that we use in our food are extremely unnecessary and also really bad for us. So much that we use dyes here that are banned in other places. So PepsiCo finally decided, let's just make the chips without them and call them the Simply Naked version. Now, the reason we add dyes to stuff, there's multiple reasons, but a lot of it is marketing to get kids to want to eat it. Like a brown chip, that doesn't look appetizing, but a blue chip or a red chip, cool. We're literally conditioning kids and attracting kids to this food, gets them addicted young, and then they eat that throughout their life. It's so fucked up. But I read in the comments, And people said, keep in mind, this is the regular version in other countries because a lot of this shit is banned in other countries. So PepsiCo, if they want to sell their product elsewhere, they just get rid of the things they don't need and then they can sell it, which is mind-boggling. Someone else said, so you mean to tell me it was possible to stop poisoning people, but you just didn't want to? Got it. Which is so true. Like, they've been able to do this all along because that's what they sell other places. They just didn't want to. I don't care if my hot Cheetos aren't red due to red 40 as long as they're spicy. Now, I saw this post and then I saw a different post that said hot Cheetos will be sold. There'll be a line of hot Cheetos that don't have dye in it. And a lot of people on those comments were like, RIP, no. Like, people were sad about that. It was very weird. I saw 2 different posts about this. One was all like, yeah, as it should. Fantastic. Glad they finally have this. And then the other one was like, no, I want my finger stained red. It was so polar opposite. It was so crazy to see. But on this post, someone else said, they are openly admitting to poisoning you prior to this point, but get your snack on. Someone else said they could have done this all along. And then someone else asked if there was a price comparison, like, are these going to be sold at a higher price point? And someone else responded to that with a post that said, yeah, they researched it and there's a 40% markup on the Simply Naked one versus the red dye 41. I think the only reason that PepsiCo started to do this is because they realized they could charge more for it because people will pay more for things that are titled organic or natural. I believe organic is the only one that's FDA approved organic. It's the only one regulated. I think you can put natural on anything and you don't actually have to qualify to a certain standard. Hold on, let me look that up. Okay, again, no, the term natural is not strictly regulated. I'm having a really hard time speaking today. My tongue isn't working, which is shocking because that's never happened before. I actually mumble all the time. But no, the term natural is not strictly regulated on food labels in the United States, as the FDA does not have a formal definition for it. While the FDA has an informal policy that natural means no artificial or synthetic ingredients have been added, it does not apply to processing methods or genetics. So people can slap natural on anything, and FDA doesn't really control it. Also, I've noticed that a lot of companies, it's Cheetos especially, there's a lot of chips that have like naked versions or simply versions. And that is also a marketing term. Also, the word clean is a marketing term. There's no clean food. There's organic, and then the men made everything else synthetic chemicals. Clean, natural, naked, simple, simply. These are just terms not regulated by anybody. I could bake you some brownies and be like, yeah, these are natural, clean eating, simple ingredients. And it's just brownies from a box. It's so messed up. It's so messed up. I hate it so much. But I'm glad that they're having this line of things because Abby and I have been trying to eat less additives. We're trying to eat less of things that are known to have a high risk of leading to cancer. So that is unfortunately in a lot of our foods. They'll do additives to preserve it. Other than just like salt or baking soda or whatever. They add things to preserve it or to amplify something, and it's actually bad for us and is strongly linked to the increase of risk of cancer. So we're trying to eat less of those, just being mindful of it. That by no means we're perfect. We have little treats all the time. We still eat at Taco Bell every once in a while. But, we're just trying to be more mindful. We're getting older. We're trying to take care of our bodies, So I'm glad that the quote unquote naked versions are more and more on the shelves, but it just angers me that those weren't an option, that the other one's still an option because we're going to eat them. I'm not saying I am never eating these things that are bad for me. I eat them, but I wouldn't eat them if they weren't available to me. And I'll judge nobody. Eat what you want to eat. But it's crazy that we're given these things and we're allowed to eat these things. But like, why? Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go on that rant. I was going to be like, why are we allowed to eat those things, but people aren't allowed to like do drugs? They're still killing themselves. They're still not good for their bodies. So why does the government care about one thing but not the other? Because they can't tax drugs? There's a whole other thing. No, I know there's a huge debate. But anyway, we're not going to go on that. We're going to go what pisses me off. Even though that kind of is linked to what pisses me off, and also what pisses me off this week is linked to what I've learned. I don't think I've talked about this online. I actually learned this a couple weeks ago, and it's been festering in me. I know I've talked to Abby about it and a couple of my friends about it, but I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast. Does anyone remember the infamous McDonald's coffee lawsuit? I apologize if I've already talked to you guys about this. I talk so much, I can't remember what I've said to whom. There's always a camera in my face, and I'm always spouting out words. Guys, I can't remember who's on the receiving end of those. So apologies if I have, but here we go. Regardless. Home Chef is our sponsor for today. Guys, it's that time of year again. The days are getting shorter, unfortunately, but a little bit crisper. And I find myself craving comfort, home-cooked meals. Home Chef makes it easy with their oven-ready options and hearty recipes that hit the spot without me stressing over what's for dinner. That is always the ongoing argument, and it's not fun. Home Chef makes cooking simple with fresh foods delivered straight to your door and easy recipes to follow with meals that actually taste great. Home Chef is rated #1 by users of other meal kits for quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. Whatever kind of day it is, classic recipes with fresh ingredients, 30-minute meals, oven-ready trays, or quick microwave options. Home Chef has you covered. There's even a dedicated family menu for hassle-free, delicious dinners. Plus, it's affordable, and in this economy, you need that. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 50% off and free shipping for your first box, plus free dessert for life. Go to homechef.com/Rachel. That is homechef.com/Rachel for 50% off your first box and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/Rachel. You must be an active subscriber to receive the free dessert. So I remember being a kid and hearing about that this woman spilled her McDonald's coffee on herself and sued McDonald's because it was too hot and she hurt herself. And I remember that light being shined on that woman as if she were an evil human, money hungry, just trying to sue and grab some money, such an American way, just to sue, blah, 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 work for your money, don't take it from everybody else. Like, I remember her being painted in a very, very negative light. And then I was scrolling. I feel like I've already talked to you guys about this, but I'm just going to keep going. Maybe there's someone here listening that hasn't heard it. I was scrolling and I saw this post come up that says, when I randomly remember that the coffee in the infamous McDonald's coffee lawsuit was so hot that it literally fused her genitals and thighs together when it spilled in her lap. That is too hot. I have spilled so much coffee on myself, more than a human ever should. I constantly am spilling coffee on myself. It has never, ever burned me. I have never been actually burned by my coffee. And her coffee was so hot, it fused her genitals and thighs together. And I was like, this can't be true. What? That's terrible. Of course she should sue. That's so irresponsible of McDonald's to make their coffee that hot. So I went into the comments and people said the way they absolutely smeared her to save face. They could have easily just changed the temperature and paid the medical bills without causing a fuss, and no one would have cared enough to remember the lawsuit. And then someone said it happened here in 1992. She did have second and third degree burns over 16% of her body because she squeezed her legs and squished the coffee out of the cup while trying to put creamer and sugar in it. That's why they also do that for you now. And then someone else said, it's crazy is that she didn't initially want to sue. All she asked was that McDonald's cover the medical bills, and that was it. Because here in the States, your medical bills are crazy expensive because we don't have universal health insurance. And then McDonald's refused. And that's when she sued. And then they tried to smear her. And everyone was like, oh my God, I remember making fun of her as a tween. And when I got older and did proper research, that woman deserves so much better. And someone said, I feel like this was on par with the woman who cut off her husband's ding-a-ling, and she's a household joke now, but he was literally brutally torturing her and SAing her every night. It is so, I mean, I've experienced firsthand. It is so crazy how people can take a scenario and completely twist it and change it and smear a human being, and no one cares about the facts. Everyone just looks at a headline, goes off of what other people, what the vibe is. You can tell the first few comments on a video will tell you how that video is going to be taken, because that sets the tone for everyone else commenting. There have been so many times where I'm watching a video and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I like this. And then I go to the comments and it's like, fuck you, you're a terrible person. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess it was bad. And I've come victim to just being like, oh, okay, I guess I didn't like it that much, even though I initially liked it, or vice versa. I've been trying to be more aware now of being like, oh, this just ended up on the wrong side of TikTok. This just ended up on the wrong side of Instagram. But I've known marketing companies and PR companies have been doing this forever. They've smeared this woman. They've also had apparently over 600 complaints before this happened that the coffee was too hot, and they ignored all of it. McDonald's was at fault here, and they went on a smear campaign successfully. Same with the woman who cut off her husband's ding-a-ling because he was SAing her. Somehow she was in the wrong. Hell no! And that is why we support women's rights and women's wrongs. It's actually insane. That infuriates me. And then someone in the comments is saying, no, the fuck it didn't. And someone's like, yes, it did. You can read the medical reports in the case. It fused her labias together and to a part of her thigh. There's literally images online, and yes, the fuck it did. Her name is Stella Liebeck. Those burns are horrible. And then I saw a dude say, it's not that hot. She overreacted. And someone's like, let me pour coffee on your balls that was the same degree as that coffee, and then you tell me it's not hot. You go ahead and tell me it's not hot, big sir. Oh, that pisses me off. It pisses me off that things shift just based on like PR stuff. Oh, that made me infuriated. I had no say. I didn't add or subtract anything from this woman's life, but I hate that I had anything less than sympathy and empathy for her. I mean, I was a kid. It happened in 92. I was like a child when I found out about it. I mean, I was 1 year old when it happened, but like I remember going to McDonald's and hearing about it and blah, blah, blah. Like it was just like the talk of the town for all through the 90s. It was, I think, the first time someone probably sued a major fast food corporation. It was absolutely insane. All right. Staying on the theme of being angry, you want to read some more Am I the Assholes? Let's do it. All right. I read this one and it made me angry. Am I the asshole for refusing to go on a family trip if I have to pay 1/4 of the cost? Obviously, I perked up because when traveling, fair is motherfucking fair. I'm someone that often deals with the spreadsheet of friend groups going on vacation together, and I have to make sure everything is split fairly and logically because it matters, and you'll understand why in a sec. Throwaways as my family follows my main. Every year, my family, parents, 2 sisters, and 4 nieces/nephews go on a family getaway. We rent a house on the lake and take time to enjoy being together. This year, my sister did the booking for a 6-bedroom house. 1 bedroom for me, 1 for my parents, 1 for my sister and her husband, another for my other sister and her husband, and 2 bedrooms for the kids. Each of my sisters have 2 kids. It is also important to note that the quote-unquote kids are all over 19, so they are also adults. I just got the bill for my portion, and it's 1/4 of the total cost. I am a single with no kids. I asked why and was told it was divided, quote unquote, by family. I personally think it's unfair to charge me the same amount as a family of 4. I suggested perhaps the cost should be divided by bedrooms, but that was shut down. Am I the asshole for saying I won't go if I have to subsidize my sister's family's portions? No. Okay, if they are children, by person doesn't make sense. But they're adults. So in that realm, it's per person. Like when Abby and I do an Airbnb, if it's me, Abby, and one of our friends, okay, we get a 2-bedroom, we don't go by bedroom. We go by person. So it's a 2-bedroom with 3 people. Abby and I are in one room, our friends in another. We are all paying 1/3 of the cost because we are 3 adults sharing a space together. Some people, total makes sense if it's like a bunch of couples or whatever to split it by bedroom or whatever. But I think because you're in a couple doesn't mean you should get a discount. And because you're a family doesn't mean you get a discount. You pay per person. And yeah, I guess if there's children involved, you can pay by room. But no, I still think you pay per person. That I am so strong in that motherfucking belief. Like my brother and his wife have 6 children. And me and Abby are us 2. If we went on vacation together and we got a 4-bedroom house or whatever for all of us to share, there's no way in hell I'm paying half. Christopher has 8 people and we have 2. That doesn't make sense. This has never happened, by the way, but I'm just saying like that doesn't make sense. If we have to get a 4-bedroom because they need 3 and I just need 1, why would I be paying half? That doesn't make sense. Just like this doesn't make sense. You pay per person. Like that, just because you're a couple doesn't mean you get a discount. That is actually insane. So of course I read the comments. Tell them that your portion is covered through your parents. If your adult nieces, nephews don't count as family, neither do you. Right? Like what is the age cutoff? That doesn't make any sense. 1 adult paying the same as a family of 4 adults? I think not. Yeah, it is very important to note that the children are all adults. They're above 18 because below 18, you are not an adult. This administration doesn't know that. Someone said, you should divide by person and send the bill back with recalculated cost. If the answer is no, you book yourself a nice resort and send family postcards. You are not responsible for paying a vacation for your family, and they are actually taking advantage of you. 100%. As someone who traveled with my family often, when it was just me or me plus an annoying extra one, now it's me and Abby and I love her. But we always just did hotels and I'd always just get my own room. And if we did Airbnbs, I just had to pay for my room because I'm one person, singular human. Like, I don't understand that. That makes me so annoyed because I get if it's like 3 couples going together, you just split the cost between 3 couples and whoever in that couple wants to handle it or they can divide it between themselves, totally fine. But no, none of this. All right. Here's another one for you. Am I the asshole for saying no to my sister and her family staying with us after a house fire? This is where it gets tricky because I think a lot of people just assume family has to do whatever to help each other out. But that is not true in my book. Let's read though. My sister and her family lost their family home in a house fire 3 weeks ago. Ugh. That fucking sucks. It happened in the middle of the night and initially stayed with our parents on night 1. But our parents have a 1-bedroom house and the space was not optimal for that. So they asked if they could stay with my wife and I and our kids. We said no. We said no for mostly one reason, but kind of 2. For about 2.5 to 3 years, my sister has been so tough on my wife when it comes to what way we feed our kids. She focuses on my wife far more than me, but it does come back onto me too. We don't keep sugar or junk food from our kids. We don't deprive them of that. We simply keep things balanced. We make veggie pancakes. We make healthier pizzas. We allow snacks like chocolate, ice cream, or cake. We offer our kids sauces, and not all of them are homemade, but some are. My sister is so judgmental about it. She didn't let any of her kids have any kind of junk food until they reached school, and they could only eat something like chocolate at birthday parties, and they limit the number of those they can attend in close proximity so they don't get 2 days of junk food in a week or more than 3 days of junk food a month. Oh my God, that sounds exhausting. My sister and her husband will also stay at parties, even ones the 10-year-old is invited to make sure they go for the salad over the pizza if they have chips and candy. Are you fucking kidding me? That is so annoying. I mean, I would never say anything to this mom, and that's the difference. You can do whatever you fucking want. That's your kid. Raise them how you want. But the fact that then she is then being this overbearing on her own children, but then judging other parents, fucked up. So you don't want that in your house. I fully understand that. I have learned one thing: don't tell a parent how to raise their kid. Unless they are actively physically harming the child, staying out of it, or verbally screaming at them. Obviously, I'd step in then. But like, no. If they're like, oh, they are not allowed to have cake. All right. Whatever. Like, oh, they don't have a bedtime. All right. Whatever. Like, I don't care. It's not my kid. Oh, and no one knows best. Literally, there is no one that knows everything about raising a kid because every kid is so different. Soul is our sponsor for today. I don't know about you guys, but I can't do hangovers anymore. And the holiday seasons are rolling around, which means it feels like there's a party every weekend or even in the middle of the week. This season, I'm reaching for Soul's out of office gummies instead of a drink. It's the same fun vibe, but it has no hangover and you don't have to put all of that sugar in your body. And the holiday season can be extremely stressful. So these are my favorite way to unwind at the end of the night, despite all of the holiday chaos happening around me. Soul is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Soul specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance creativity and relaxation. With 5 different strengths, you can tailor the dose to fit your vibe, from a gentle 1.5 milligram microdose to their newest 15 milligram gummy for a more elevated experience. So take advantage of Soul's Black Friday Cyber Monday deal now. For a limited time, get 40% off your entire order. Go to getsoul.com and use code RU. That's getsoul, GETSOUL.com, promo code, the letter R and the letter U for 40% off. Don't miss their best deal of the year. Going on though. My sister acts like our kids eating a chocolate treat or having a few chips is the end of the world. She was especially horrified to find out that we gave our kids fries with tacos one night and that another night we gave chicken bites with potato cakes and not plain chicken once the potato cakes were involved. Veggies were included both times, but the idea of 2 less quote unquote clean foods horrifies her. Clean foods. Fuck that shit. My sister-in-law, wife's sister, is a pediatric dietitian and she loves how we feed our kids. She told my sister that once, and my sister was horrified by my sister-in-law's profession. You don't know shit. A balanced diet is great. And how the feeding the kid in that household, if it's working for everyone, great. As long as the kid is fed, the kid needs to eat. Yeah, healthier food's always just like a better option, but you also don't want to put food insecurities on your kid that young. Stressing about food like that is not emotionally healthy for a kid. Again, I would never say this to the mom because it's not my fucking business. But right here, I'm just reading this. This has all become such a problem that it has become my sister disrespecting my wife. So we see her far less. I don't like that. We used to be close, but I won't allow her to shit all over my wife over a difference in how we see things. Oh, and she also doesn't like that our kids get bread with soup. That's what you're supposed to eat with bread. And that's what you're supposed to eat with soup. You eat them together because it's a perfect little combination like ketchup and French fries. What do you mean? Like syrup and waffles. They go together. Bread and soup are a meal. A delicious, nutritious, healthy, filling meal. So when my sister asked if they could stay with us, I said no. She told me they really wanted to stay with family instead of some hotel or strange rental. And I told her they would all be happier there when she would be so bothered by the food my wife and I feed our kids. But I also wasn't going to let her stay and disrespect my wife in our home. My sister has been furious with me since. She told me I took things way too far. I told her she's been going too far for almost 3 years now. Good for you. Good for you, OP, for standing up for your family and your wife. Because fuck that shit. She can talk shit to her husband behind closed doors about your wife and your kids. Sure, whatever. I mean, that's her prerogative. But to disrespect your wife to her face? Nope. No. Then the comments, not the asshole. Good for you for standing up for your wife and kids. She would give your kids all sorts of eating disorders if she lived with you. OP says, I can only imagine how awful she'd be to my sister-in-law when she visits as well, because my wife and her sister are very close and she's at our house a lot. My sister has already made disparaging comments to sister-in-law regarding her job and her views/advice. And then the person said, what could possibly disparage about a pediatric dietitian? OP says she doesn't believe she is fit to be in the role when she doesn't condemn giving kids candy and other junky foods. Also, the fact she thought we were doing great with our kids. My sister was horrified by that. And then someone says, you're the assholes. You should have had that discussion with your sister 3 years ago, not let it stew a habit. Also, family is family. Suck it up for a few days and let them stay over. Their house and all their stuff just burned down, dude. And OP said, I talked about it with her several times in the last 3 years. It never did any good. So, and then they said, either way, it seems like a poor time to take a stand and cut them out at any time. It seems more self-focused than anything. But then someone else is like, no, she sounds like controlling. It kind of looks like no, everyone's saying not the asshole. One person says it's family, suck it up. No, just because it's family doesn't mean suck it up. Yeah, you can be a little inconvenienced for family every once in a while. But when someone's constantly belittling your person and you and questioning everything you do and talking shit, they don't deserve anything from you, especially if you've told them to cut it out multiple times and they just don't. It's not hard to bite your tongue. You do it. And this is why you do it. This is not why. You stop, you bite your tongue, and you don't be a dick because you shouldn't be a fucking dick. But also, this is kind of like the karma that comes back and bites you in the butt. If I was constantly rude to someone and they kept telling me to stop and I just kept doing it, I would never then ask them for a favor, family or not. Family's fantastic because they're people that have been there since the beginning. They know the ins and outs of you. They've seen you grow from a baby to an adult. They understand the dynamics in the household. Like, there is this special bond with family. But that doesn't mean you put your happiness aside and just let them walk all over you because they're family. When you become an adult, you have to act like an adult. You have to be a good person. You have to treat the people in your life with love and respect. And if you don't, then you don't get the benefit of those people. Like, if I had family that was pieces of shit to me, I would never talk to them. There are extended family members that I don't talk to that are super homophobic. And I'm like, all right, peace out. I don't give a fuck if they're family. They're dicks. This is extended family. Like, you guys don't even know about them. And you don't know anything about them because early on I realized, I don't want anything to do with those people. I don't care if our blood's the same. Fuck that shit. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Family is something like it's relationships you're handed early on, and then you have to nurture those relationships. They're not guaranteed. And a lot of people don't understand that. All right, we've got time for one more. If you can also disagree with me kindly, and I will kindly rebuttal if I get around to it, but probably not. But we'll do one more. Am I the asshole for not tipping a waitress and giving her the reason as to why? Unless she spit in your food and you saw it, tip your waitress. But let's read. I, a 48-year-old male, was at a restaurant yesterday with a few of my friends. We usually go out and it all goes well. We always pay separately, and it is important to know that I always tip in usual cases, this not being the one. So the beginning goes fairly well. The hostess takes us to our seats, and the waitress comes out shortly after. And we usually always joke around with the waitress. So when she asks if I would like something with my drink, I say, I suppose you aren't on the menu, so I will just have the crab cakes, unfortunately. Oh, that's out of line. That's so out of line. Don't flirt with her. That's harassment. And here's the thing. Someone's saying, I was just flirting. There's a power dynamic there. She is serving you, and it is her job to serve you. So you saying that stuff, she can't rebuttal, she can't decline because she's fearful she's going to get in trouble with her work if she does. Don't flirt with your waitress. And the stripper doesn't like you. I thought I should just add that as well. She did not laugh at my joke. I found this to show her lack of both service but also interest and attention to the guests she works to serve. Go fuck yourself. Oh my God. I mean, that's all you probably do is fuck yourself because no one else is, because you're a disgusting human being and no one wants to. Other waitresses usually laugh or joke back, but I decided to let it slide. Oh, you decided to let it slide? That your sexual harassment joke wasn't laughed at? So she didn't even say anything to you. She just didn't laugh. She just took your order down and you're insulted because she didn't laugh at your disgusting little shitty joke. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, that made me so angry. The second thing that led up to the no tip was that it took a long time for her to bring out the food, which to me yet again showed her lack of service and attitude. Nope, that has to do with how fast the kitchen was making the food. That had nothing to do with her. That's the kitchen. You are a dick. I'll keep going. The third was that we had already had time to finish our appetizers before she came to check on us. Had something been wrong with the food, she would not have known. Oh my God. She sounds like the restaurant was busy. Sounds like you weren't the center of her world because you're a disgusting dude at some random table at the place she works. The fourth thing was that she served my friend a medium steak, though he asked for medium rare. Again, that is the kitchen, not the server. Does he not know that she has other things to do and is not the one making the food? The fifth was that she forgot my drink order and I had to remind her, and she did not notice by herself. Again, sounds like she's busy and doesn't want to have anything to do with you because you're gross. The sixth was that almost every time me or one of my friends tried to joke with her, she did not laugh. She did not smile. She just looked like we discussed her. Because you probably do disgust her. You are probably disgusting human beings. And I can tell by what you think is appropriate because you've told me. You have told me you're a disgusting, foul, just disgrace of an existence. She is there to take your order, give it to the kitchen, and then when it's done, bring it back to you. That's her job. Her job is to not stroke your disgusting, fragile male ego, laugh at your harassing jokes, and make you feel seen. That's not her job. Her job is to simply find out what you want to eat and drink, go get it, and bring it to you. That's her job. That's it. All of my friends and I agreed that no one would tip her due to how we felt both forgotten about, mistreated, and overall served. You sound like you're friends with a bunch of the same gross. When we were paying, I told her that I assumed she would realize, but I would like to explain to her why we decided not to tip her. Oh my God, leave this poor woman alone. You realize the next time you go into that restaurant, all of the servers are going to flip a coin to see who has to serve you because no one's going to want to. Nobody's going to want to serve you. I told her almost everything I had explained in the post and also explained that we are all usually leave good tips, so she knows that she missed out. Oh my God. She just stared at me and told me, okay, have a nice rest of your evening, sweetheart. This ticked me off because we all decided to leave. She doesn't give a flying fuck about you, bro. She does not care about you. You are not important. You are a nobody. When I told my wife and her daughter about this today, they both asked me what was wrong with me. Thank God. Oh, thank God. Not only did I not tip her and explained, but also for how me and my friends treated her. I asked what was wrong with our treatment, as no other waitress has ever found something wrong with it. They told me that I should really think about it all again, that if I can't find anything wrong with it, to think harder. I am at a loss for words, as the only people to ever even think I did anything wrong are my wife and daughter. All my friends fully believe that we were in the right here because women had to tell you. Think about it. All of the dudes don't see anything wrong, but the women in your life say it's wrong. Think about why and think a little harder. They're right on you need to use your brain. The women understand and the men don't. Was it really that wrong for me not to tip and explain why? If I do something inappropriate or wrong, that it affects my work or customer satisfaction, I would like to know. That is something I think should go for waitressing too. Oh, thank God the comments come through. Holy shit. You're the asshole. Your quote unquote jokes are absolutely appalling. No one wants to be treated like that, especially when they're at work and can't immediately tell you to get the fuck out. She looked like you disgusted her because you disgust her. Also, there's a lot of other shit you did wrong and blamed her that was not in her control. But I'm not going to wade into all that because the most egregious thing you did is already enough for judgment. And then someone said, they've quoted, I suppose you're on the menu, so I'll just have the crab cakes, unfortunately. That is incredibly sexist and very cringy. I don't blame her for not laughing. That is a jerk thing to do. That may have set the tone for slower service. And then you have a list of every minor thing, and you want to give her a list of everything she did wrong. I wish the manager just threw you and your party out. Your wife and your daughter probably know people in the service industry and know how hard they work to serve jerks like you. If I was your daughter, I would refuse to go out with you again. You're the asshole. Dude, it's so gross that so many people like this exist and think it's okay. It's not okay. First comment says, OP is an absolutely disgusting human. His wife and daughter deserve better. American problem. You're the asshole. She didn't flirt back with you, so you nitpicked the entire meal. So much of it didn't even have to do with her. Okay, so she forgot her drink, probably because she hates you. I would too. Think of it this way. If my sister or daughter or wife was the waitress and they told me what you had said, you wouldn't be able to walk for a while. Then someone else said, don't have to read beyond. She took a long time to bring out food. You know damn well it's not up to her when the food is ready because she doesn't cook it. You just salty she didn't laugh at your dog shit jokes. A bear. We chose the bear. Wow, what a disgusting creature. I love this waitress for her classy reply when she was being told she wasn't getting a tip. Someone said, I sexually harassed women. Am I the asshole? This is such a common thing. Women giggle at those jokes so they can get their fucking tip. They smile and flirt back so they can get their tip when they don't want to. And they shouldn't have to. But when they don't, they get punished for it. And not all men. Okay, again, I'm going to say this. I know some great men, but a lot of men are toxic. And this toxicity hurts. It hurts everybody. It hurts women and it ends up hurting men. The patriarchy ain't good for anybody. But when women talk about this, they're like, I get sexually harassed. I'm like, well, why do you go along with it? Why do you let it happen? Because when they don't want to flirt back, when they don't want to smile, when they don't want to put up with sexual harassment, they get punished. Whether that be through work, payment for something, getting upgraded for something, or physically assaulted, sexually or not, or verbally berated. Women keep smiling at this to save themselves. And so men keep thinking it's okay. The only solution is for men to realize it's not okay. Men need to stop. It's not on women to stop smiling and stop laughing at this. They're trying to protect their jobs and themselves. And men need to realize it's not okay. They need to stop this on their own. It's so gross that women have to keep being like, that's not okay. Like the wife and the daughter have to baby feed him answers and teach him why it's not okay. Again, the work is always on the women to fix the issue of the men. Not all cases. I am aware. There's some good guys out there. I know that. I've met some of them. But the ones that aren't okay, the bad men, overtake it all. And it sucks. All right. We're going to end on that little note. I love you guys so much. Abby will be on next week, so please leave your comments for her down below. Also, happy holidays. When does this go out? Before Thanksgiving. Happy 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 Thanksgiving. Thank you for listening to this episode of Rachel Uncensored, the only place on the internet where you can find the uncensored version of me, Rachel Ballinger. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, or follow, or do whatever this platform tells you to do so that you can get notified every time I post a new episode. Love ya!